After going through 4 jobs in almost 5 years, I probably had around 10 different managers across different types of organizations. Some of them were absolutely amazing, some of them were really not that great, but all of them actually helped me understand that you yourself are probably the best person to rely on to progress your career. So here are the 5 things that I learned to avoid to progress faster on the career ladder. Number 1, catering to someone else's idea of a perfect career path or a perfect job. It's probably something that I am guilty of myself, especially at the beginning of my career, but you soon start to realize that it gives you external validation and probably boosts your confidence in public, but then on a daily basis, it's more likely to actually make you more miserable rather than happy. So I think the key is to actually identify what does your perfect day look like and what part of your day you actually enjoy. This will set you up for a longer term success and help you move towards something that is more internally focused rather than seeking external validation. Number 2, not having a long-term plan. This is not something that you need to answer this, where do you see yourself in 5 years type of question, but this is probably a good idea to have to try and help you progress and map out how your career looks like or how your job looks like in the next 3 to 4 years. This is probably somewhat tied to number 1, where if you do have a long-term plan, but it is tied to this picture perfect career that looks really good on paper but does not get you to your personal goals, this is probably the time to rethink the longer term plan and actually start helping you to move forward towards that long-term vision of what your perfect day looks like and how your career actually sets out to be. Having a long-term plan doesn't mean it never changes. It precisely means that you update your plan based on whatever is happening every, let's say, 1 or 2 years, but you still have that longer term vision and longer term path in your sight. Number 3, being stuck in one job and not exploring outside. I am clearly a big believer of this one, as I have switched about 4 jobs in the last 5 years, but at the same time, I think even if you absolutely love your job, who does, but anyways, and you think everything is perfect about it, the pay, the day-to-day, the responsibility, and everything falls in line, I think it is still important to understand what's going on in the outside world, in the market in general. What do other positions of your level actually earn? What do they do? What type of responsibilities they have? So it's always good to have an understanding of how the market has shifted since you actually took up that job. Even if you don't want to move, I think this gives you a good visibility of potential progression and potentially give you ideas for your own role and your own company that you can be inspired by and potentially implement at your organization. So it's always a good idea to have your finger in the pulse. It doesn't mean that you need to be scouting for jobs all the time, but I don't think it hurts to go on 1 or 2 interviews in a year or 2. Number 4, not knowing what is needed to progress and just doing a good job. I think a lot of people have a misconception that just doing a good job at their daily to-dos and daily responsibilities is going to get you promoted. I think that would be the perfect world, but unfortunately I don't think that's the case in a lot of the organizations. I think a lot of the time people actually lose track or even not know at all what their manager thinks is needed to progress and how that progression should look like. A lot of the times managers want you to perform at the next level to actually get that promotion. Usually they say like 50% of your role should be at your current role and 50% of your performance should already be in that next higher up bucket so that you get the promotion and show that you can actually do it. I think that is pretty much underpaying people for more effort and higher level performance. But at the same time, that's how it works in a lot of organizations. So it's worth clarifying what are actually those responsibilities at the next level, what is needed to show to actually get that promotion and show people that you are ready for that next level, and what are actually the projects that will get you there. Frankly, a lot of the time, guessing what is important for your team and what for your manager is probably a waste of time. So it's always better to have a transparent conversation with your manager and try to nail down that progression road towards that next level. Number 5, not managing upwards. I think this is one of the skills that I learned in investment banking that really helped me in my career overall. where the teams are very hierarchical and working styles are literally something that makes or breaks your experience in investment banking. So it's very important to understand what is it that your manager actually wants and needs and how they like things to be done. I think a lot of the time it's trying to essentially make your manager's lives easier and try to kind of preempt some of their requests or offload some of the tasks from their list. I think that puts you at the top of their mind for actually the next best person to go to and the person who is responsible and can be relied on. This is especially important for middle managers where they have someone already above them as well as below them. So their job is especially hard because they not only need to manage upwards, but also make sure that they don't completely destroy the life of the people who are working for them as well. So nailing that balance of managing upwards and trying to kind of offload your manager's to-do list while also not completely passing everything down onto the following level is basically that tricky position, which is key to get right. These are the 5 things that I always try to keep in mind in quarterly check-ins or annual reviews, and these have helped me actually progress and get promoted in every job where I stayed for longer than 9 months, I guess. These are definitely not the only ones, but do let me know if you think there are some that are top of the list for you. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and stay tuned for more.